Good day, all. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Sanya. I am your senior support specialist here to take you through the client dispute manager software for today. So I do hope you are all having a good day. Yes, I see some persons posting in the chat. Hi, how are you? Good day. I hope you are having a good day so far. Let me just know in the chat for the others how your day has been so far. And we're going to jump right into it because we're going to talk about the disputing process, right? So yesterday we did cover the onboarding. So today we're going to cover the disputing. Hi, Linda. Thank you so much for joining. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So let me go ahead and share my screen with you, and then we are going to jump right into it. All right, perfect. Tell me when you are seeing my screen and we will start. Okay, awesome. All right, so of course, you know, when you come into the software, this is going to be the first thing that you see. And of course, we have some, I wonder if you can spot something different with the software. Is there anything on your home screen that looks a little different for you? Anybody at all? Can you look at this screen and tell me if you notice anything different? Maybe not. Maybe at the end of it, you can tell me. All right. So of course, on the home/dashboard screen, you have your customers overview and your dispute process overview and the business growth. And of course, you have the new updates whenever that green box pops up on the home screen. Then of course, there is something that we want you to know. So of course, all you want to do is to go ahead and click read more. And then of course, you go ahead and look at that. So make sure that you are checking for the updates. You can also schedule a personal walkthrough with us. You can do the daily live training. Of course, for those of you who are new and just coming in, I want to encourage you to go ahead and watch the Getting Started videos so you have a better understanding of what it is that you need to do, all right? And of course, we have the dispute status. This shows you all of the disputes that you've done so far. You also have the customer search and the add new and quick lead, where you can add your customers in from the home screen. And of course, you have your little tabs here at the top. And you also have the alerts at the top, and there is a new alert. This is your to-do task. If you have tasks, this is the secret that I was hoping that somebody saw. I hope you did get to test it out. If you want to, you can go ahead and create a task. This is for you, who of course is the admin. You can go ahead and create tasks so that you can remember to do something. Once it's completed, you just go ahead and check that box and it is going to be moved to the completed screen. Don't forget to check those alerts for the reminders. So that is important. This is a new feature that we've added. We hope you like it. And of course, I want to hear the feedbacks as well. So definitely let me know how this feature is working for you, if you think it is a good add for a feature. All right, awesome. So to the disputing process, yesterday we talked about onboarding. Of course, you know, step one is adding your client in, sending them the contract, and then step two, doing the credit analysis, and then step three, it is basically to do your dispute. So of course, let's say we did our onboarding, we did our credit analysis, we have talked about what our plan of action is going to be for that particular customer. We want to go ahead to the disputing process, right? So of course, once your scores are showing for your customers, remember, if you do it automatically, you don't have to add it in there manually. So you have that option if you want to, right? So automatically is much easier because of course the software is pulling in all of the information, scores and all of that. So you definitely want to check on your scores and your add items. The add items are basically where your accounts are. You want to make sure that you have decided, okay, these are the accounts that I want to work on first. Some of you, of course, you're going to have your strategies in place. So you can say you're going to do all of them all at once. It could be a case that you are gonna just choose a few. I just want you to make sure that you have your plan of action for what you're about to do for the first round, and then you can try to work up to the second and the third, and so on and so forth, right? So we are putting our items in dispute. These are the negative information that's on our client's credit report. We're going to put them in dispute. This is basically to just say that we are ready to start the disputing. It's not sending a dispute out to the credit bureau, creditor, or collector. You have to do that underneath the preferred screen. So of course, putting these in dispute, you can now decide, okay, is it that I'm going to dispute with a credit bureau? So you're going to go to the credit bureau if that is your plan of action, right? So just a simple rule is, well, not a rule, but a strategy that can help you. Remember that whatever accounts you're looking at, because the software is going to put the furniture, the account number, the account type, the balance. It's going to tell you who you need to dispute with, which bureau. So of course, you'd be able to see all of that information. What I like to tell you is to add a reason and a letter that suits what you're trying to convey to the particular agencies that you're trying to dispute with. So it could be a case that you want to dispute with the credit bureau or the creditor or collector. You just have to think about that when you're about to dispute. I want you to remember that you have to know the basics of disputing. You also want to make sure that you have if you can, review your credit report. And this is where your analyzer comes in, because let's say you're not there just yet when it comes to reading the credit report. You have your analyzer that's there to help you, because this is going to show you the inconsistencies that's on the credit report for those particular account that you're about to dispute. So right across the board, it's going to show you all three credit bureau that has discrepancies on the report. Okay, so I'm going to pause right here. I want to ask you guys if you have any questions at all. Go ahead and unmute for me, or you could just post it in the chat if you want to. So any questions at all? Have you started your disputing process? Do you have questions? I want to hear from you. Any questions at all? All right, I think we're all good. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So remember, you need to look at your analyzers. Remember basic disputing rules. Remember, some of you are going to be disputing for customers that are in different states. So you have to take that into consideration as well when it comes to you moving on to the disputing process. All right. Let me see here. Oh, yes, I need to send the replays. I did not get to send out the replays for yesterday. So I will send that and today's replay, okay? Someone was asking, can we also refer to the smart interview? Oh, yes. If your customers have done their smart interview, I want you to pull it up, because you're going to use that along with your analyzer to help you, because basically what the customers have said, and that's what you want to do. I don't want you to do any disputes blindly, meaning that I don't want you to just get the accounts in and then you're just going to go off and send out letters just like that. Of course, you could do that. You could always look at your analyzer and go ahead and dispute, but we still want to talk to our customers and we still want to get their feedback on the different accounts that they have, because sometimes they have a crucial piece of information that would help us when we are about to dispute. So of course, we want to get that information out. So if you have them go through the smart interviewer, go ahead and pull it up, and also pull up your analyzer. It could be a case that you might not have done your smart interview, but you did your consultation and you made your notes. Definitely go ahead and review all of the information that the customer have said to you. So in your customer's interview, let's say you did make some notes. and then you have your plan of action. I want you to just go back and forth and look at what the information is saying, and then you're going to use that as your basis of what you're going to do for that customer, right? It could be that whatever they have told you might help you with a reason that you could have used, or it could be a case that you wanted to choose a different letter as opposed to the one that you're about to choose. It could be that they are asking for more time with the creditor. So of course, you want to get all of that information from the clients as possible. So if it's in the SMART interview, make sure that you get that information from the client. Check the SMART interview. If you have done your consultation and you did make notes, wherever you have made the notes, go ahead and check that and use that to help you to go ahead and dispute. All right, so that is important. That is a good tip. All right, let me see, do I have any more questions? Any more questions? All right, let me see. All right, awesome. You are most welcome. You're most welcome. All right, so let's say we have thought about our plan of action. We have reviewed or analyzer might have shown us, okay, for this particular account, TransUnion, okay, here TransUnion has a different date. They have a different balance. Based off of those information, you are going to use that to help you to add a reason to what it is that you're trying to dispute. Remember, your letter should be consistent of a reason why you're disputing, why are you asking them to go ahead and investigate. You're also highlighting all of the information that you see so that they can go ahead and check it with the credit bureau, or not the credit bureau, but with the creditor or collector, depending on who they need to reach out to, so that they can give you an update. And based off of that, you are going to use that information to help you. So it's basically like chess, right? You move, and then whatever move they do, then you counter move, right? So of course, you want to make sure that you use all of the evidence that you have. You're disputing based off of factual information. All right. All right, so another thing that I want you to remember, I like it when you make sure that you have checked their personal information, because sometimes the customer's information is not correct on their credit report. So it could be that their full name is not correct, their address is not correct, their social security, their date of birth. Make sure that you check the credit report or your analyzers to see if you need to go ahead and send out a personal information fix letter. While you're disputing, some people prefer to just send it first, and then they go ahead and start the dispute. Some people, they'll send the personal information fix while they're disputing the initial dispute. All right, so it depends on what you're doing. Still make sure that you go ahead and check all of the information that you have, and then you can go from there. Once you have that out of the way, go ahead and look at all of your accounts. I want you to also make sure that you check all of the letters, right? It could be a case that you have checked your letters that you have in the software, and let's say the next round came and you didn't know what else to do. Let's say the credit bureau, they said to you, oh, you need to reach out to the creditor. Of course, we don't want to send another letter to the credit bureau, because of course the credit bureau already told you what it is that you needed to do. So based off of all of the letters that you have in the software, you are basically selecting a letter that is going to match what you're trying to convey, and basically what they have replied and said, you're using that as a counter or just to update them accordingly, right? So once you do that, you should be good. Now, let's say you have a customer that have a lot of accounts, right? They have probably, the most I've seen is probably 50 inquiries. It could be a case that you have a lot of inquiries, you have a lot of charge off, you have a lot of repo, probably one repo or whatever, right? You have a lot of accounts. You have probably over 70 accounts. I don't want you to go ahead and add one same reason for that particular letter, right? For all of those accounts. What I mean by that is, for instance, you could have inquiries that you never authorize. So of course, your reason could be that, okay, I did not authorize these inquiries. In that case, that's fine because you have identified, okay, that these inquiries, they were never authorized. So of course, you can have a good amount of inquiries and add that same reason. But I don't want you to have different accounts and still the same reason for every single account. No, I want you to pinpoint what it is that you have identified with those particular accounts so that they can go ahead and really dig deep to investigate it. Because at the end of the day, the credit bureau, they don't want to do it, right? They don't want to spend that time to go ahead and investigate. That's a lot of time that they have to go in, reach out to the creditor or the collector. They don't want to do that. So what they will do if you do add a lot of accounts, same reason, probably the same letter, they might hit you with a frivolous dispute, or they might say it's suspicious. Suspicious in the case that they're saying, oh, it could be that it's a credit bureau that's actually sending these letters, right? If you realize that you've gotten those response, don't get alarmed. Just go ahead and look at the different letters that you have in the software that can help you with what response you would basically use, right? So still be on your P's and Q's because we don't want to use the same reason and the same letter for all of the accounts, right? But you still have letters there that will help you to counter in the event that they say it's a frivolous dispute or they think you're working with a credit bureau or it's suspicious, right? You have different letters there that will definitely help you, all right? So I hope that made sense. I want you to think critically when it comes to what you're about to send out in terms of your disputes for your clients, because sometimes we might think, oh, let's use the same letters and the same reason for all of the clients. No, every client is going to be different. So you have to remember that you might have to tweak your letters. Go in there and edit it if you have to so that you can get the best results for your client. It might take a little bit of time, but that little time that you spent to analyze the information so that they can say, okay, so I do see that she said, oh, the open date is incorrect and the balance is incorrect. Let me go ahead and check it. Let me go ahead and reach out to the creditor or collector, and they have to verify that. And then you would see what the results is going to be. Are they going to update it? Are they going to delete it? So you have to use that as your angle to go ahead and get the best resolution for your customers. All right. All right, perfect. Let me just look at the chat here. Okay, you're brand new to the software. Welcome. I am glad you're here. If you want to, you can always schedule a one-on-one session with one of our specialists. You can always send me your email address and phone number, and I will reach out to you, okay? That's totally fine. All right, perfect. What if in reality, all of the reasons for the inquiries are really the same? Yeah, if it is, let's say you have a client that has 50 accounts, of course, the reason, of course, is going to be the same, right? That is totally fine. I don't want you to have collections. You have 5 collections, you have 8 charge off. Every single account, in that bundle that you're sending, which is a lot, they're not going to want to say, okay, we're going to check this is a collection. But no, right? But for an inquiry that is right down the list, I've seen persons send up to 50 accounts and they've gotten deletions for it. I like to keep it at 20. Some persons go over it, some will do a little less. It's just a matter of you making sure that you're not adding a lot of different account type in the letter itself, right? Let's say you have a lot of accounts with different account types and you're keeping the same reason, the same letter. Of course, they might mark it as a suspicious letter because they think it's a credit bureau, right? But if it's an inquiry and you have a lot of inquiries and you want to get that off, that's totally fine to use that particular reason. You should not have an issue with that, right? All right, perfect. I hope that made sense. All right, perfect, perfect. All right, do I have any questions? Any questions before I go a little bit deeper in what I want you to do with the steps, going to the different screens? Post it in the chat or you can unmute and let me know. All right, all good? Awesome, awesome, perfect. That's what I want to hear. All right, so let's say, for example, you decided in your plan of action that you need to dispute directly with the collectors, right? There are different instances, different letters that you could send out to get the best resolution for your clients. Now, of course, we know sometimes these collections account, they can be a little hard to deal with. I want you to think about options of doing a pay for deletion. If you realize that your client's accounts, they could possibly pay off those accounts, go ahead and talk to them to say, okay, if you go ahead and pay off this one and this one, let's see if we negotiate with the credit bureau or the creditor or collector, can we get a pay for deletion? So I want you to think from that angle as well. Not everything needs to go directly to the credit bureau. It could be a case that you need to dispute with a collector or the creditor, right? So you have different letters that's there that you can use. Remember, you have general letters. So general letters can be used for any type of account. The campaign letters are more tailored towards a specific type of account that you are disputing, right? So I always look at the account type and use that as a marker to help me whether I'm disputing with whichever stream, right? So it's a matter of you selecting one out of the three letters, adding your reason to that particular account so you could get the best respond for your accounts, right? So look at the information that you have and then you go from there. You should be good, all right? All right, yes, yes, I will, definitely. All right, guys, request for the replays. Go ahead and send your email address so I can send you. I need to send out for yesterday and today's meeting. So I will definitely send that to you. All right, let me see, do I have any questions before I move from there? Any questions? All good?
I have a quick question.
Yes, go ahead.
When you were talking about the inquiries, how you can use that one reason I did not authorize.
Yes.
How do you see the multiple inquiries? Because I had one that had about 20 inquiries, but I didn't see it in my in that dispute manager view.
Okay, question. Did you import it in the add item stream?
I imported the credit report, so that's not a part of it, or that had to do with
Yes.
separate.
Where did you import though? Where did you import?
On the credit bureau screen. Oh, add item. Okay.
Add item. So let me just minimize this. So you did the importation, not in the import / analysis. You did the import here.
Right.
All right. If you do the import here, I want you to always remember that if you're pulling in the accounts, there's going to be like a grid that has the scores. It's also going to have all of the accounts, positive, negative, inquiries. For the import, if you do it like that from here, you have to check the box for the inquiry so you can pull it in, right? So if you go to your add item screen, if you can go there now, tell me if you see in your add item any inquiries.
I don't.
All right, so go to your import credit report. And I want you to pull it in again, but I don't want you to just hit the add import too quickly, because I want you to look at all of the accounts, uncheck the accounts that you already put in. I just want you to check the box for the inquiries that you didn't pull in.
Okay, and which view is it? It's still on Dispute Manager.
Right. When you click on imports, you select the report type. Do you have the quick import for this?
Yes.
All right, go ahead and upload it. Once you put it in, you should be able to do the upload. So do the quick import. It's gonna come to the grid here. All right, did it come in?
Okay.
All right, don't click on add data yet. You should see the grid where all of the accounts are listed. Uncheck the ones that you've already pulled in and check the boxes to the left-hand side where the inquiries are.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And then once you do that, then you add the import data. So only the inquiries you're pulling in.
Okay, I see.
All right.
Gotcha.
All right. Once you do that, it's going to go back to the add item screen. I want you to put those inquiries in dispute, and then we're going to go ahead and go to the dispute. So question.
Okay.
All right,
Mm-hmm.
go ahead and do. Got it?
Yeah, I got it.
All right, awesome. Now I want you to tell me, did you talk to the client about the inquiries?
I did.
All right, perfect. Now, bear in mind that you're not going to touch any inquiry that's tied to an open account, right? And
Right.
if it's past the statute of limitation, of course, you can go ahead and dispute those, right? So
Mm-hmm.
based off of that, and of course, they were never authorized, I want you to go ahead and go to your credit bureau screen, and you're going to add the reason that you're disputing those particular inquiries. So it could be a case that the date is incorrect, or you really did, the customer didn't authorize the inquiry. All right.
Okay.
All right. Look at the information, and then you select it accordingly. So you could use a general letter, or you could use a campaign letter. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
You are most welcome. You're most welcome. All right. So let's say we are choosing, I did not authorize it. You choose this, you have a campaign letter. I like to use the campaign letter or the general letter, especially for the inquiries, because it's a little tailored to the account type, right? So it could be that I'm using this particular inquiry letter underneath the campaign, or I could use one of the general letters. So look at it to see if it's a good fit, and then you can go from there. Remember that you can tweak your letters if you need to, right? And then for letters that you have that you need to add the IDs, I want you to make sure that you go into the letter itself before you send it to the bulk print screen. This little icon here, I want you to click it and make sure that you have downloaded, or rather previewed, the ID and the proof of address or whatever it is, and then you just add the URL for now. All right. All right, and then you should be good. All right, I hope that made sense. All right, good. Let me see. I think I have some chat here. Bear with me, guys. All right, any questions while I read through? Yes, thank you for that. Thank you. All right. what process would I use to add the inquiries manually? So if you're going to add them in manually, let's say you are looking at the report, remember that you can add the scores or the accounts manually. Let's say you have a client that have annual credit. You can come in here and add that particular account or inquiry, right? So you just add that info, add what type it is, add your balance, and then you just go ahead. If it is with all three credit bureau that you need to dispute with, of course you check the box. If it's just one, you check the bureau that it's supposed to be disputed with, and then you go ahead and hit save. That particular account is going to be added into the grid. So that's how you can add manually your accounts, right? If you're not doing it automatically. All right, so you could do your updates underneath the add item string. You're most welcome. Okay, perfect. Let me see, just checking the chat. Yes, guys, I will definitely send you the replays. All right, so I hope we are on track when it comes to adding in our accounts, if we're doing it manually, if we're doing it automatically. I want you to remember that when you're in the import analysis screen, that you want to make sure that you pull in all of the negative info, right? So when you hit your credit analysis analyzer, and you choose your client, make sure that you go ahead and check the box that you need to check so that you can pull in the negative items into your dispute manager's add item screen and your inquiries as well. Bear in mind that your credit analysis, it's only going to show you the summary, right? It's only going to show you the summary for the inquiries. So make sure that you pull in the inquiries as well when you're doing your credit analysis, because the inquiry is just going to show here underneath the account summary, right? So if you're doing your consultation, of course yours is a little bit different. Look at your credit analysis, go to the add item screen and talk about the inquiries as well and make your notes, right? For those of you who are going to use a smart interviewer, of course, the inquiries, the public record, the negative info, the personal information, they would be able to input all of those information about those particular accounts, right? Or information that they need to add in. So keep that in mind. So always pull in the inquiries so that you can go ahead and work on it. I know sometimes you have you don't like to do the inquiries, but I want you to get into the habit of getting those off if you can, because remember the inquiries and accounts that's hurting your customers within the first 2 years, those are the ones that carries the most weight, right? So inquiries that of course you didn't get authorized for, let's say the customer didn't get authorized for it, definitely go ahead and add those and work on those accounts that's hurting the customers the most, okay? Bear in mind that you can have old accounts. Of course, we want to work on the older accounts later on, because you can work on the older accounts and you get deletions and the scores don't improve, right? So we want to work on those particular accounts that carries the most weight, where of course if you did get updates or deletion, the score improvement would be a little bit higher, right? So keep that in the back of your mind. Work on the older ones afterwards. All right. And of course, we don't want to get deletions for every single negative account, or accounts rather, because we still want the client to have information or accounts on their credit report, because we still want them to have some type of credit history on their credit report. All right. All right, perfect. Yes, I will send you those replays, guys. Let me see. All right, don't forget, some of you have your own letters, or it could be a case that you edited your letters, right? You have gotten a letter from a friend, you wanted to add that into the software. I want you to remember that if you have your own letters, go ahead and upload it into the letter vault so you could go ahead and use that in the software, right? So If you have your own letters, go to the letter vault and you can upload those. Don't get confused because your manual letters, they might be coming from a different system. They might be coming from outside sources. Keep in mind that you want to take out any special characters that's not supposed to be there, right? Remember, our software has placeholders. So you definitely want to keep those placeholders so that you can add the client's information into your letter. So you just go ahead to the letter vault, click on manual letter tab here, and then you click on the button to add your manual letters, add a good title, and add it in the correct category. Remember that the placeholders that's here, you can go ahead to type it in, copy and paste. If you're importing it in, go ahead and do so. Just remember, any special characters that's not a part of or software that you don't see here or you don't see here, you want to take those out. Once you have edited those, go ahead and save it in the vault. Another thing to keep in mind, don't use Word, use Notepad. If you're copying and pasting, use Notepad or WordPad for now to go ahead and copy and paste, okay? All right, let me just check here. Ooh, one sec, guys. All right, yes, Trade, yes, I will send you the replay. Do I have your email address and phone, your email address so I can send you? Is it more effective to only dispute 4 and 5 accounts? Yes and no, yes and no. 4 to 5 accounts, let's say you, I don't want you to code it wrong. Let's say you have a client and you kind of want to spread it out. If you understand what I'm saying, you want to spread out the credit restoration for the customers. Of course, you can do 4 and 5, right? But let's say you have a client that they have like a timeline. You don't want to be doing 5 and 4 accounts at a time if they have a specific guideline, time frame rather, because it could be that they wanted to get a house within 2 weeks. Of course, you're not a magician. And of course, you have to wait until you send out the disputes and you've gotten the updates. Sometimes it can take a little bit longer, right? So you can decide if you want to do 4 and 5. I would say go up to 20 if you have a client that they have a lot of accounts. You kind of want to get them out of the program. So you have to consider that. If you have 4 and 5, let's say they don't have a lot of accounts, then you can play it safe by doing 4 and 5 accounts at a time. All right. That's totally fine. So keep that in mind. If you have a lot of accounts for that particular customers, try to do as much as you possibly can. All right. And then mark it as set so that you can identify what you have already done before. All right. In your dispute manager, let's say whichever screen you go to, let's say it is round 3 that you're on. And your sets, remember your set is basically you grouping your accounts together. I have 10, 20 accounts. I want to group all of my collection. Collection could be set 1, collection charge off could be set 2. So you're just grouping what you have together so you can identify what groups you have already done before. All right, if that makes sense. So set 1 could have been all of my charge off accounts, set 2 my late payments, and so on and so forth. All right. All right, perfect. I hope that made sense. All right, so I'm going to pause right here because I want to know if you have any questions at all. Any questions? All good? All right, perfect, perfect. Yes, so let's say we have all of our accounts, we're grouping them together. Remember, you can do different account types, different reasons, and different letters, right? So you want to group all of your accounts together because of course we don't want to spend a lot of money on ink and paper, and we want to send them out to letter stream, or we're going to go to the post office. We don't want to be spending a lot, right? So group your accounts together, just add different reasons for the accounts, because remember, at the end of the day, your sole purpose is to identify those discrepancies and inconsistencies that you're seeing on those particular account. So it could be a case that your accounts are, let's say this is round one for me. I wanted to choose for the collection. I don't recall having this collection. Of course, we don't always want to say that we don't recall having this collection. Talk to your customers. Sometimes they'll just give you a vague they'll give you vague information. I want you to go ahead and look at your analyzers and see, and based off of the information that you have, instead of using that, you can go ahead and look at what the reasons are. Let's say the balance is incorrect, or something like that. Sometimes you can honestly look at it to say, okay, no, this is really your account. Let's use a different approach, because we don't want it to be a case where especially for the inquiries, if it's tied to an open account and we say we did not authorize the inquiry and it's tied to an open account, guess what? They're going to close that positive account. And of course, the customers are going to come back to us and they're going to say, this is what you did, right? So we want to inform our customers accordingly. If you realize that there is discrepancy with what they're saying, advise them accordingly. All right, look at the information that you have and use that to help you, because remember, the rule is the credit bureau, they have a responsibility to report the same information right across the board for the 3 credit bureau, right? So based off of that, based off of what the clients have told you, based off of the law, you're using that to help you to get the best response for your customers' accounts. All right. And then I also want you to disclose, especially for accounts where they could possibly be sued for, you need to let them know that if you go ahead and dispute this particular account, based off of the state that they're in, they are liable to be sued, right? So you have to put those disclosures in, even if it's in your contract already. Make sure that you let your customers know that this is a possibility, all right? Because at the end of the day, we don't want them to come back and say, oh, you did not inform me of this particular instance, all right? All right, perfect. So look at your history, the payment history for your client. Look at the comments. I want you to look at the last payment date, open date. It could be a case that they really don't recall this particular account. Let's say they probably know that the original furnisher is such and such, but on this, let's say this is a collection and they saw original creditor, and of course there's no name or anything like that. In an instance like that, you can go ahead and add that particular reason. All right. So you have to analyze the information and go ahead and dispute accordingly. All right. All right. I hope that made sense. All right. Any questions? Any questions so far? All good? All
Actually,
right.
yes. Well, I do have a question.
Yes, please. How are you today?
First of all, I could send over my email and you could email me a couple meetings that I have missed. Monday and Friday and Thursday, if possible.
Or repeat what you wanted.
If you could send me over the email the meetings.
The replays?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so Monday, you want Monday,
And
Thursday, and
basically, yes, ma'am.
okay, and Friday. Okay,
Yes.
no problem, no problem. I will send you that. Did you send your email address in the chat?
I'm about to right now.
Okay, perfect. No
And
problem.
thank you too, Sonia.
You're most welcome. It is a pleasure all the time, right?
Yes, ma'am.
You are most welcome. All right, perfect.
I have a question.
Yes, please.
What if Experian is not reporting anything under like the $18,682?
Right?
Okay, what if experience not reporting nothing? It's zero, nada.
Like
So
it's
what do you
blank,
send? Huh?
like it's blank.
Yeah, uh-huh.
In an
So,
instance like that, if you realize that write down the report, there's no information on a particular credit bureau, ask your customers if at any point they did a freeze, right? Sometimes the credit bureaus, they're not reporting the information. That's another red flag as well. You want to reach out, have the customer reach out to Experian to find out exactly what is happening. All right.
oh, so then I don't have to do anything. The customer has to call them and let them know,
Because
hey, you're
right,
not
because it's
reporting
their
it.
information, right?
They're,
You just
oh,
inform them accordingly. You can't call them, they have to call. All right.
oh,
Yeah.
correct. Okay, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Very
No,
good, good. Thank you.
you're most welcome. You're most welcome. All right. So how would I get them to add the balance, right? You're just asking them to update the information. You're asking them to update the information. So if you realize that the information is not correct, you can pinpoint to say that this is, I'm not seeing this here, or the information needs to be updated, and you just pinpoint what you're not seeing. All right. All right. So definitely look at all of the information that you have based off of the three credit bureau. Use that as your guide to go ahead and put a reason there for your customers. All right. Because you highlighting what is not there means that they need to go ahead and investigate why it's not showing. And they need to check with the all three credit bureau. Okay.
But
Along with the creditor.
okay, but if I'm gonna go ahead and send them the account number,
Yes, because of in the letter.
uh-huh.
Yes. Remember the letter that you have chosen. Let me find a letter here. Any one of the letters that you have, it should show the account number. Now, sometimes you might have instances where on the credit report, it's showing NA, right? In an instance like that, if the furnisher's name is there, then you should be good, right? Because of course they should have that information on file, right? So you can tell them that this is the information that you're seeing or you're not seeing. Go ahead and update this information because based off of the law, this information should be updated. All right. And then don't be afraid to put your legal jargons in it, your laws in it. Just don't get too technical because they might think that you're a credit report company, right? You're sending the letters on behalf of your clients. Of course, you don't want to get too technical. You don't want to add too much legal jargons in there. But of course, anybody can go online and they can look it up and copy and paste and put it in their letters, right? So you should be able to pinpoint what you're not seeing and use the law with a little line just to show them that this is what they need to do. If they don't do this, you're going to go ahead and file a complaint. All right.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, you are most welcome. Yes, good. Got it. You got it. All right, you're most welcome. You're most welcome. All right, I wanted to make sure that you got that. Let me see if I Trey. So is it okay to print off the tri-bureau report and send it so you can show the evidence? Some people do it, you can, but of course they do have the information. If you want to, you could show them snippets of what you're seeing, right? If you have receipts or if you have contracts that would basically back up what you're trying to say, then of course you can go ahead and show them that evidence, right? But most likely you're sending them for them to investigate it because you want to see what they have to basically say, okay, no, this is not what is supposed to be there based off of the evidence that I have. That's not correct. So you kind of want them to show you what they have to go ahead and ask the creditors and collectors because more than likely, probably 9 out of 10 times, they don't have the correct information. And based off of that, that also puts you in a good spot for you to get an update or a deletion, right? And of course, the score is improved. So use that as your basis. You don't want to show your whole hand, but you want to see what they have, if that makes sense, Trey. Right? All right. I think someone wants a one-on-one training. I'm not going to get the name correct. I am terrible with names. Go ahead and put your email address. Is it Antony? Antony? Yes, put your email address and phone number in there so we can schedule a session, all right? Put it privately for the number, okay? All right, you are most welcome. I hope this is making sense, guys. I hope it's making sense. Because at the end of the day, I want you to be good at disputing. I want you to be confident with disputing. I know sometimes you're just coming into it. You're probably doing yourself or your friends and family. I want you to remember from the perspective that you're playing a game. Well, of course, you're not playing a game, but you want to see what information they have so you can counter and get a favorable response, right? Because you want to see their hand first, all right? And you're asking them to investigate. Remember, you have the law by your side. You also have the analyzer. You have your dispute guide. So look at your dispute guide. It could be that you need to update the personal information first, and then you just go ahead and do your disputes accordingly. Let's say, for example, you initiated your dispute. You send out, let's say you're working with your initial dispute, right? You send this out, 30 to 40 days have passed. You did not get a response, right? There's no way that you could continue to use the dispute flow or the campaign letter because they did not respond. You would need to go to a general letter to ask them, why didn't they respond? Based off of the law, I know that if I go ahead and initiate a dispute, then you, based off of the law, you have to go ahead and investigate it. Don't let me go ahead and file a complaint on you. So based off of that, you're using that to help you. So make sure you look at all of the evidence that you have, look at the letters that you have. Remember, add your reasons, tailor your letters to your accounts. You might not have to do it with all of your customers, but let's say you see a problematic account. I want you to just dig a little bit deeper and look at the information that you have and just highlight that into your letters, and then you go ahead and send your letters out, right? Remember, you can dispute with the credit bureau and the collector at the same time, or if it's just the collector alone or the creditor, use those letters to your advantage, right? Don't forget, once you have done your disputes, let's say you're at round 3, round 2, round 5, whatever it is, always come back and look at your dispute reason tracker, right? This little icon right here, you're going to pull that up, right? So let's say you went into tracking and you send out your updates to your clients and you're about to do your next round. You need to see what was the reason I used for the last letter that I sent for this particular account. This is going to help you to know what you need to do in the next round. And also make sure that your customers send you the update. So whatever they have gotten from the credit bureau, collector, or creditor from the responses, make sure that they log into their portals. If they need to email it to you, you go ahead and analyze that information. Sometimes we get the updates and we're like, what? That does not make any sense, but sometimes they will stall. Sometimes they'll just say they have updated the information. If they say they have updated the information and you want to press a little bit more, you could say, oh, how did you verify this information if you want to move forward with another round, all right? So based off of that, you are going to go ahead and initiate another letter. Remember, all of your letters, whether it's a dispute flow, campaign letter, or general letter, they come in an order, right? But some of your letters, they're more tailored to specific type of accounts, right? Same for the creditor. It could be a case that you wanted to do a child support letter, child support dispute, or you wanted to do a charge off or identity theft. Your customer, they have a mortgage loan and they're late. They want to talk to the creditor. Based off of that, look at the letters that would best suit what you're trying to convey or what you're trying to achieve from the dispute that you're sending out. Sometimes it's not a dispute that you're doing, but you just want them to validate the information. You're requesting that they give you more time. Go ahead and remove that negative info, and based off of that, I'll go ahead to make sure that I'm not late again. So it could be a goodwill letter. Just look at the information that you have, and then you go ahead and use that to your advantage. All right. I hope that made sense. So edit your letters. If you need to preview your letters so that you can know what it is that you need to do for your customers, right? And don't forget, look at your analyzer dispute guide. Based off of what the clients have told you, you're using that to get the best response for your customers, all right? All right. We need to end early today. Let me see if I have any more questions. Go ahead and unmute if you have real quick, and let me know. Trey, do you resend the previous letter if they did not respond? No. What you're gonna do, if they have not responded, of course you have to give them time, especially now. They're using that as a crutch to say that COVID is happening now. So it's up to about 52 days. If it goes past that, go ahead and send a no respond letter, all right? Because they did not respond. You have the option, remember, based off of the law, if they did not respond, you can go ahead and file a complaint, because by law, you, the customer, have the option to request an investigation, all right? So you definitely go ahead and send a no respond letter. You have the general letter that's there that you can use, or underneath the response section here, you have a letter that you can use if they did not respond, right? So right here is another type of letter that you could have used. All right, so you have letters that's going to the creditor, collector, credit bureau, for different types of response that you might have gotten or you want to send. Let's say it's a cease and desist. Whatever it is, you can go ahead and do that. In an instance, let's say it's a collections account, but you wanted to talk to the creditor, you can go ahead and send out a particular letter to the creditor if you wanted to the collector if you wanted to. All right. I hope that made sense. All right, perfect. Everybody is good. I want to make sure you're good. Make sure you join me tomorrow. Any questions before I let you guys go? All good? Okay, perfect. We are all good. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. It was a pleasure taking you through the software. I want you to make sure that you join me tomorrow so that we can go through another session. If you have questions, don't hesitate to go to the help section, and make sure that you also schedule a session with us. And I also want to remind you that we have the online dispute summit that I want you guys to make sure that you invest in, because this is a good option that will teach you how to dispute as well, right? So let me just go ahead and send you a link to the online dispute summit. You can check it out. It's going to be a really good event that you want to take advantage of. You're going to have a lot of speakers that's going to come in. Go into your chat, go ahead and copy that link, or just pull up that link. Let me just go ahead and show you the link as well. You can go ahead and look at that. And this is a good event that you definitely want to join. It's going to be February 20 that you want to go ahead and take advantage of. 7 great speakers. It's going to be there. You do not want to miss. It's actually 6 great speakers. Well, 6 great speakers, and Mark is going to be there. Of course, he's a great speaker, right? Yeah, so you definitely want to join that. The link is in the chat. Go ahead and review that, all right? So I'm looking forward to see you join this and to become great dispute experts, all right? All right, awesome. So I'm going to let you guys go. Thank you so much for joining me today. You do have a great one. You have a great one, guys. You take care. Bye-bye.